How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the stock market has been doing exactly what the stock market has been doing best today, and that is go up, guys. What a surprise. S&P 500's up $23 today, up 0.75%. The Dow Jones is up a whopping $10, pretty much break even, up 0.04%. And the Nasdaq is doing the best, up $145, up 1.45%, as tech stocks are doing what tech stocks have been doing best, and that is crushing the market. And in this video, we're going to be talking more about the markets, breaking down some technicals, going over what potentially could be next here over the next couple of weeks. And I want to go over some key numbers that you should be watching for tomorrow and that I'm watching for tomorrow that could heavily influence the stock market over the next couple of weeks. And as always, I'm going to be breaking down the top stocks that I'm watching right now heading into the month of July. Oh, we're actually in the month of July. Happy new month, July 1st today. And I just want to break down what I'm watching as we're starting off this fresh month. So if you guys find value in the video, as always, hit that like button for me. Consider subscribing to the channel. Check out all the free links down below in the description box if you want to be further connected with the Strive Smart community. And if you want 2 free stocks from Webull, with one of them valued up to $1,400, all you have to do is put in $100 into the account, and it takes 6 to 7 roughly business days for you to get your 2 free stocks, again with one of them valued up to $1,400. So let's just start off this video, guys, with the S&P 500 like we always do. And would you take a look at where we're struggling? Unbelievable. We talk about these levels all the time, guys, on the channel. First was 3,060 on the S&P. We broke that a couple days ago, that actually might have been yesterday. We broke, actually no, it was on the 29th of June. We broke 3060, and now take a look at where we are at 3120, another massive level again that we've been talking about here on the channel. So why is 3120 a big level? And you guys can see again, it's pretty much, it's gotten rejected there multiple times in today's session, as you guys can see on the intraday chart. Once at about 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, and a couple of other times throughout this time period between 1 p.m. and right now. And actually now, guys, live action, we're actually seeing it break 3120. So this could be very good for the bulls if the bulls are able to hold above 3120 heading into the close of the market. So that's one big thing that you guys should be watching out for. Are the bulls going to close above 3120? Watch out for that. Now, going back to where 3120 comes from, 3120 was a resistance back in the middle of November. You guys can see it here. And honestly, into December, we actually held it as a new support. So that really solidifies 3120 as a big level here. And another area or time period rather that we were at 3120 was in the beginning of March, right? That was a big resistance on the S&P 500 in the beginning of March before we ended up tanking all the way down to 2200. And it was also a resistance back on the 3rd of June and pretty much throughout the middle of June as well. So for the bulls here, it is absolutely imperative that 3120 breaks, and quite honestly 3150 as well. 3150 is where we triple topped back between the 15th of June and what was this, the 23rd of June. So if we break above 3120 today, close above it, I'm going to be watching 3150 tomorrow, right? If we break 3150 tomorrow, heading into the long weekend here, again, Friday is closed in the stock market, we might be seeing a gap up to 3,200, which at this point, the bulls are desperate for that, right? Not that they're desperate because they haven't made money, because trust me, the bulls have made money. We've seen a rally from 2,200 up to where we are now on the S&P. But what I mean by they're desperate for it is the markets have been really flat over the past, close to a month at this point. Ever since we've taken a dump from 3,200, take a look. We're pretty much right where we were in the beginning of June. You guys can see June 3rd, about a month ago exactly to this date, we were at 31.25, and that's exactly where we are right now. So despite the markets doing fantastic over the past couple of weeks, we're still pretty much flat over the past month, and the markets haven't really gone anywhere over the past month. So watch 31.20, 31.50 on the S&P, and 32.30 here on the upside, which is the resistance from back in the middle of June. And on the downside, maybe watch 30.60, right? That could be a downwards target that we might, go to. Let's say if we get bad numbers tomorrow when it comes down to the jobs reports or maybe jobless claims, which we'll go over here in a second, watch 30.60 in that case on the downside. Watch 30.20, maybe 29.80, 29.50. These are a couple of big supports on the downside here. And when it comes to the Dow Jones, up $32 today, again, nothing too crazy. We can see that overall, and same thing with the S&P 500, guys, despite us being a bit bullish here towards the end of the market, breaking above 31.20, we're still overall in this little downtrend ever since we've hit 3,200. We're in a downtrend here because we're making lower highs, and we're also making higher lows at the same time. So technically, we're in a wedge on the S&P and on the Dow Jones. You guys can see the same thing here. Lower highs here, and we're still trending under that 180 SMA here on the hourly chart, and we're kind of just flat here on the $25,000, $24,800 level support. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Dow does tomorrow and heading into next week. Do we break out of 26,000? That's a big resistance here. Do we break the top of this wedge, the 180 SMA? If we do, we might start taking out 26,400, 26,500, and slowly start to make our way back up to the upwards target here, which you guys know, especially if you've been following the channel, is around 27,000. So if we do break those levels, watch the move up to 27,000. And on the downside, again, if we get bad numbers tomorrow, we get rejected by 25,800, this 50 SMA, we might be going down to 25,100, maybe back down to 24,600 to 700, which is another big level of support here. So watch those levels on the Dow Jones, and you guys can see, there we go, Nasdaq all-time high yet again. What a day, guys. What a day for the Nasdaq, and quite honestly, what a month and a half, 2 months, more like, guys, this rally has been like 3 months now almost. What a ride has it been. Nasdaq crushing it. At this point, we really don't have any support, resistance levels on top of us here because, again, we're at all-time highs. So for me, I'm looking to see if this thing ends up cooling off. It's very possible. We might actually push up if this momentum continues tomorrow. We might actually push up to maybe 10,400, 500. I know that sounds crazy, guys, but we might actually do that before we see a pull down. But when we do see a pull down, I'm going to be watching 10,100 to about 10,300 like a hawk, because that is where, the big support is going to lie, and that is where a lot of buyers could be coming in if we hit a 10,500 Nasdaq and we start to pull down, right? If we see that 400 or 500 point haircut, that'll put us right at 10,000, 10,100, and that again is where maybe some people will start, buying back into, a lot of tech names that pull down, maybe some ETFs that track the Nasdaq index and so forth. So that's pretty much it for the market update portion of today's video, guys. We actually do have some notes to go over here very quickly that does pertain to the market and kind of what to watch out for. We have jobless claims coming out tomorrow. We know every Thursday we get these numbers, and these numbers are very big, especially in the time period that we're in. I don't know how many weeks it's been. At this point, it's had to have been 13, 14 weeks of 1 million plus jobless claims. That's got to be a record, no doubt about it. And for tomorrow, we're estimated to see around 1.35 million people filing for jobless claims for the week ending 6/27. And in my opinion, this number is a big number to watch out for, but the bigger number to watch out for is the jobs report. And the average estimate of economists surveyed by MarketWatch is for 3 million jobs to be added in June and the unemployment rate to fall from 13.3% down to 12%. So you guys remember, I think the unemployment rate, its high was at about 14.7%. Now it's at 13.3%. If it goes to 12%, that would be really good to see, especially since the numbers are progressively getting lower. Again, from 14.7 to 13.3 estimated to 12% estimated. That is good that the unemployment rates continue to drop, right? And if you guys remember, in May, we actually had a ridiculous surprise in terms of the jobs report numbers. We got 2.5 million jobs added. So watch for this, guys. Watch for this. It's going to be very important because let's say we completely come under that 3 million jobs added estimate. Let's say we only get 1 million jobs added. That's going to be a huge blow to the stock market. You can expect the markets most likely to drop pretty heavily on that news. And let's say on the flip side, we come above 3 million jobs. That could happen as well. Maybe 3.5 million, 4 million, 4.5 million. I mean, that's pretty lofty, but if we do beat it, that could be a huge surprise to the point where the markets could see an explosion. I mean, we've seen the markets go up 2%, 2.5%, 3% in a day off of some news like that. So we can definitely see it happen again. And some other things to really just keep an eye out on, guys, very quickly. Q2 earnings are supposed to be rolling out soon. They're going to start rolling out soon, and we're going to see exactly how a lot of these blue chip companies, these massive large cap companies out there, how they're faring here in the crisis, how they've been performing. And if we're taking a look at some analyst estimates here, they're estimating profits at blue chip American companies to fall 44% in the second quarter, and I got all this from New York Times, guys, and that's per FactSet, by the way. And earnings are expected to continue sliding in the second half of the year, ending with a 22% drop. Analysts at Goldman Sachs, and this is also insane, and by the way, we just had the best quarter in the S&P 500 since 1998, if I'm getting my facts right. That is off the top of my head right there, but I do believe that is right. That is absolutely unbelievable. And some other Goldman Sachs analysts are saying, okay, look, their baseline forecast for the S&P 500 is to gain 5% in the second half of the year. That is, I guess, on a not the best case scenario, not the worst case scenario, kind of in the middle. And in their vaccine upside scenario, if a company comes out, makes a vaccine, obviously that would be very good for the current situation that we're in. He sees the S&P 500, or Goldman Sachs analysts in general, they see the S&P 500 rising 14% from here, and there's a virus downside scenario, worst case scenario here. They see the markets dropping 30% from here. And to be honest, guys, as a long-term investor, somebody that likes buying stocks at low prices, I wouldn't mind a 30% drop in the market. And who knows, if we get a second wave of shutdowns to try and contain this CV that is spreading in many states like Florida, Texas, Arizona, they're all pretty much, a lot of states are reclosing places that they reopen, such as bars, restaurants, and so forth. I mean, if we get that scenario and we start to contain this thing again by doing nationwide quarantines, especially in states that are suffering the most, we might see that 30% drop. And as always, I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know, what are your thoughts on the markets, Goldman Sachs, the analysts' expectations, the different scenarios, and the technicals that we broke down. Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, let's talk about what I personally did in the markets today, guys. And truthfully, I didn't really do much. It wasn't that crazy of a day. You guys know I'm in Alta stock. ULTA, this is one that I'm still holding, pretty much break even at this point. I have a sell target on Ulta at $230. That's where I'm looking to start offloading some shares right around $230. I'd like to sell some at $240, $250 as well, but like I always preach on the channel, guys, don't get too greedy. And since I'm break even right now at $205, at $230, that's going to be a very nice profit. So I'll probably sell most of it there and maybe let some of it ride on top of that, but we'll see what does end up happening. But at this point, I'm holding Ulta, ticker symbol ULTA. And I also opened up a new position in Papa John's, ticker symbol PZZA. And this is one that we talked about yesterday. They got some pretty good news in regards to same-store sales in North America. They rose 28% in the second quarter, which is unbelievable. And we can see the pattern here on pizza. I'm saying pizza for short because that's the ticker symbol. Pretty cool ticker symbol at that, PZZA. We can see it's in a pretty favorable horizontal channel between $77.50 and about $85. So I figured we held $78 like we talked about yesterday. We're having a pretty good day today, up 4%. And I actually ended up getting in earlier in the day, of course, right around $80. I believe I got in on this dip, not at the bottom at $80.40, but more like $80.75. That is roughly where I ended up getting in here on Papa John's. And the truth is, I'm holding this overnight, guys. I'm up about 2% on my position right now, but I have a sell target at, again, around $85 and $84, $85, and I'm going to hold to my target. And I do have a little stop loss on here just in case we do take a turn for the worse, maybe tomorrow, and I do have to lock in some profits. But that's pretty much all I did today. PZZA, I'm holding Ulta. And guys, take a look. We'll get into this one now that we're going to start talking about stocks that I'm looking to buy. Take a look at Workhorse, guys. This thing is unbelievable. I haven't seen a stock like this in a very long time. This is ticker symbol WKHS. This thing is up 15%, right? That's a fantastic day for any stock out there in the stock market. But that doesn't tell the whole story. Get this, guys. If we open up this intraday chart, this 1 day, 1 minute, this stock was at $13.65 today. Yes, today. This stock was at $13.65, guys, meaning it has rallied 30% off the lows in today's session. And we got some news that they got some convertible notes here. They got some financing, $70 million. And we're also seeing that there's some share dilution potentially coming to this stock, which could be a reason why the stock fell to $13.65 here. There could be some new shares being offered coming up soon. And we got that dump, but you guys can clearly see the bulls took this one over. They saw this as a dip buy, and I'm looking back on today's session, guys, and I'm kicking myself because I did not participate in this rally. I know people in the Discord chat did, and if you did, let me know down below in the comments, guys. Awesome win for you all today. You pretty much could throw a dart at this stock and make money today, so congrats to everybody that did, but I personally didn't, which again, I'm kicking myself about. But overall, I don't think, as crazy as this sounds, I don't think this rally is over quite yet. Does that mean we're going straight to $50? No, guys. But I think within the next couple of months, we could see even more upside, right? Especially if they ink big deals with UPS, FedEx, and quite honestly, I'm looking at it right now as a buy anywhere. If we pull down anywhere between the $16, $17, $18, $19 level, that's kind of where I'm looking at this thing. If it does end up taking a dip, maybe tomorrow, maybe at some point next week, that is where I'm looking to buy, quite honestly, as a swing trade for this stock here, ticker symbol WKHS. And another piece of positive news here, take it for what you want, guys. Their stock price was increased from $10, the target for the stock, all the way up to $26 at BTIG. I'm not exactly sure BTIG. They might be a research. Yeah, they're a research company. You guys can see here, BTIG Research. So that is a pretty good sign, although we don't take analysts' expectations and their buy ratings with complete certainty. We always take those with grains of salt. It's nice seeing that we are seeing some of these increases, to say the least, guys. That is a pretty good sign, and that does end up, at the end of the day, pushing up the stock. So again, watch out for the most part, at least. So watch out for 16, 17, 18 bucks. We're already seeing a haircut here. Profit taking is kicking in pretty hard as we're about to close in the market here. And hey, this could open up a last-minute move for those of you guys that like trading after hours. I mean, by the time you're watching this video, the session is going to be over, but watch out for this potential rally maybe tomorrow, honestly, from, let's say, 1850 back up to the 20s. That's if we end up closing in the 18s, low 19s. So watch that here for WKHS. A couple of other ones that I want to talk about. Square stock. Oh my goodness, guys, up 11%, up 11%, 11.5%. And this is not on any crazy news. I believe they just got increased in terms of their stock price by many, analysts. You guys can see Rosenblatt upgrades Square to buy. Price target 121. They raised their price target, Rosenblatt, from $69 all the way to 121. Moffitt, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Moffitt-Nathanson hikes Square stock price from 90 to 120. Maintains buy rating. And we're seeing here Benzinga top upgrades, or actually no, I don't think that's an analyst firm, but either way, we're seeing a lot of buy rating signals, price target increases here on Square. This stock is running on the news. Again, 11% in the green, absolutely unbelievable. So it's in a situation similar to WKHS, pretty overbought and in need of a pull down. Maybe not as overbought as WKHS, but I would like to see a pull down. Square stock probably around 110, quite honestly, guys. If we're able to hold the old highs here from the 22nd of June up to pretty much today, the 1st of July, if we're able to hold those highs as a support, and maybe even this 50 SMA at around $1.08 or 108, right? That could end up opening a very nice entry point. So watch there on Square right around 108 to 110 bucks. And remember that vaccine scenario we were talking about. If the vaccine comes out, that could be very good for, obviously, the economy, for people in general, right? Not spreading what's spreading right now. And for the stock market, well, we have PFE, Pfizer, coming out today, and they're saying that its vaccine in partnership with BioNTech, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, showed positive data. CV patients had neutralizing antibodies after receiving the vaccine, the company said. And BioNTech, I'm assuming they're publicly traded as well, they jumped 4.8% in terms of their stock on this news. So although PFE, Pfizer, is not looking very attractive in terms of the technicals, it's still worth watching at this point due to its involvement with the vaccine. And it's kind of like which company's going to get the vaccine first, right? If we all knew, if we had a crystal ball, we could obviously invest in that company because most likely that company, the stock price, will go up. But since we don't have a crystal ball, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's worth just watching some of these plays. There's a lot of biotech plays, smaller cap, that I don't know much about, but PFE, I know J&J is doing some work with the vaccine as well, and a bunch of other companies. So just watch this one. There could be some potential here, especially if we take out this 180 SMA resistance on this 4-hour chart that you guys are seeing. So another big one today was FedEx. We talked about this one yesterday. What a move. They reported earnings yesterday, completely destroyed the earnings. Their EPS completely blew out the water of the estimates. The same thing with the revenue. And we're seeing a lot of price raises in terms of their stocks, in terms of the stock from different banks here, from different analysts. And we talked about yesterday how, okay, 140 is a big support, and the next big resistance was 153. Well, we filled that entire gap in the after-hour session post-earnings, and I said yesterday, watch, if 153 breaks, we might make the move to 170, and it seems like we're doing that instead of pulling down to the mid-140s. So heading into tomorrow, into next week, I'm looking to see if 150, 155, this general area, if it's able to hold and act as a support. If so, this could be a sign, okay, maybe we should go long on FedEx and ride it from the low 150s, maybe up to that price target at 170 that we talked about yesterday. And with the good earnings report, I think it can go there. And realize, guys, the reason why these companies are doing so well, FedEx, is because e-commerce is exploding right now. People are ordering from Amazon. I mean, although Amazon does its own, a lot of its own, delivering itself, but we have a lot of other e-commerce businesses out here that are just shipping so many products through FedEx, through UPS, through all these companies. So it's not that surprising that they're doing well at this point. And it's worth watching, guys. FDX. And another one is Facebook, FB, up about 5% today. The move has been made, quite honestly, guys. We actually called this move out yesterday from 225 up to 240. I didn't trade it, but I'm sure somebody out there did trade it. So at this point, I'm going to see what Facebook does at around 240. If we get rejected, expect it to go maybe not back to 225, but it might start to go back down to the low 230s. And let's say we break out of 240. That's going to be very bullish. Watch out for the all-time high if that does end up happening. And another one here, Beyond Meat, just as it started to get some push to the downside, is up 5.5% today, up $7.30 on news that Alibaba's Freshipo grocery stores would start selling the meatless burger patties, marking its entry into supermarkets in mainland China. This is very big for the expansion of the brand and the business in general. I'm loving it, although I'm not a shareholder. As somebody that wants to see Beyond Meat succeed long term, I'm really liking this, right? And Beyond Meat burgers will be available at 50 of these Freshipo locations in Shanghai starting Saturday. And by September, the patties will also be available at an additional 48 locations in Beijing. And I know I'm pronouncing this wrong, Hangzhou. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, very good news here from Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. On this news, we broke out of a big resistance, 145, earlier in the day, and at this point, we're trading under that big resistance, and it seems like we got rejected under that 50 SMA as well. So for me to be confident in going long in Beyond Meat, I need to see it break 145 tomorrow or next week, and honestly, I need to see it break $150 right under this 50 SMA, this green line that you guys are seeing. And the last one that I want to talk about here today is Starbucks. And although Starbucks, the technicals aren't looking too attractive for a breakout, for a move back up into the 80s, this is a blue chip stock that is worth watching, especially at prices where it's pretty much $10 off the highs that we saw a couple weeks ago, right? $10. So that means from $83 down to $73, Starbucks lost around 13% of its value. And again, although the technicals aren't looking too great, one thing we know for sure is we're holding $70 as a support. That is very good. We held that a couple months ago, couple weeks ago in the middle of June as well. And another thing we're seeing here, although again, we're holding 71, which is great, we're trending under the major moving averages, which is bearish on the stock. We're trending under the 50 SMA, 180 SMA, big resistance coming up at $75. So for a blue chip company like this, guys, eventually it is going to go back up. That's the name of the game, especially with most of these blue chips, unless they go out of business. And the truth is, if you're a blue chip, the reason why you are a blue chip is because the likelihood of you going out of business is slim to none. So looking at Starbucks from that lens, I can really just see this thing slowly getting back to the 80s, to the 90s. So for that reason, I think it's worth watching here, maybe even nibbling some shares. I might just pick up some longer term swing trading shares at this price with the confidence I have in thinking that it's going to go back up to the mid 70s, high 70s, and back into the 80s, mid 80s at some point. So I'm going to leave you guys off there. And oh wait, hold on. Before we do end off the video, actually, take a look at the markets now. Dow Jones, with about 30 seconds left in the market, is down 0.3%, down $75. The S&P gave back some of its gains. It's up only $15 now. The Russell is down $14, down 1%. And the Nasdaq gave back some of its gains from the beginning of this video as well, up about $120. So pretty interesting close here in the markets. If you guys enjoyed the video, as always, all I ask from you is to hit that like button. Let's try to get 400 likes on this video. Consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to claim your 2 free stocks from Webull, with one of them valued up to $1,400. That's just if you guys want free money, and that is linked down below in the description box. All you have to do is put in $100 and you should get your 2 free stocks, one of them valued up to $1,400, within 5 to 7 business days. So I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again for watching. As always, you guys are awesome. Peace out.